And the next two examples of determining equations of tangent lines. Example number 2, we have this square root function. So we're going to write the general formula for the equation of the tangent line. This would be y minus, usually it's f of x, but since it's g, I'm going to go g of c equals g prime of c times x minus c. You can see here c is 5, so I'm going to change these to 5s. All the c's are now 5. And then we're ready to begin. So the first thing I'm going to do is find out what g of 5 is. G of 5 is the square root of 2 times 5 minus 1, which is the square root of 9, which is 3. G prime of 5, first you have to figure out what G prime is. This is a chain rule. So don't forget it's the derivative of the outside. So it's 1/2 2x minus 1 to the negative 1/2. That was the derivative of 2x minus 1 to the 1/2. Then times the derivative of the inside, which is 2. 2 times 1/2 is 1. So this is just 2. Oh, that's a horrible pen to use. This is just 2x minus 1 to the negative 1/2, or g prime of x is just 1 over 2x minus 1 to the positive 1/2. So g prime of 5, which is what we're looking for, is 1 over 2 times 5 minus 1, which is 9 to the 1/2. And 9 to the 1/2 is 3. So that was g prime of 5. This was g of 5. We just plug them into this equation, and we get y minus 3 equals 1/3 times x minus 5. And we are done. That's it. If you want to check, you'll plug it on your calculator like I showed you before. Just look at the previous video. Graph it, draw the tangent line. It gives us y equals 0.333x, 1/3 x, plus 1.333 4/3. Now, if you multiply this out and add 3, that's what you should get, and you will. If you don't have a graphing calculator, that's fine. You have Wolfram Alpha. So go to Wolfram Alpha and just type in the tangent line to y equals the square root of 2x minus 1 at 5. So it will translate it, and it will give you the answer that we just got. Y equals x over 3 plus 4/3 x. So the next problem is, and the last problem is this. It's just a more complicated function. You might want to just pause the video, try this, and then compare. So if you did pause, welcome back. Here we go. So the equation of the tangent line is y minus h of negative 4 equals y prime. Oops, so hold on. Equals h prime of negative 4 times x minus a negative 4. So this is the equation. I know I did that wrong. This is the equation of our tangent line. H of negative 4 is 3 over negative 3, which is negative 1. So that's going to be right here, y minus a negative 1. H prime of negative 4, First, we have to figure out the derivative. So I'll do that here. I wouldn't use the quotient rule on this. I would use the chain rule because we had a constant up top, and it's always easier that way. The derivative, -3 times x plus 1 to the -2 times the derivative of x plus 1, which is 1, or just -3 over x plus 1 quantity squared, which means h prime of -4 equals -3 over -4 plus 1 is -3 quantity squared. So it's -3 over a +9, which is -1/3. And we just plug that in here. So -1/3 times x plus 4. And that is all you need to do. However, if you're going to check on the calculator, you're going to have to put it in y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to do that real quickly. This is not necessary. If you're confident with your answer here, leave it. This is a fine form. I have x plus 1 equals -1/3 x minus 4/3. You add 1 to both sides, -1/3 x. Subtract 1 from both sides, so -4/3 minus 1 is -4/3 minus 3/3, which is -7/3. That's what the calculator should give you. Talked about how to do that. Draw the tangent line. The calculator says -0.3333x. That's good. And minus 2/3. -7/3 is -2 1/3, which is -2/3. So this is checked. That's it. Tomorrow we're going to find out how we're going to use these things to approximate values of functions. So make sure you're good at actually getting the equations of the tangent lines. See you tomorrow.